Janelle here. My baby here is getting tired of me waking him up, but I just wanted to say happy birthday. I wanted everybody else to say happy birthday, Sam Jackson. That's his first name, no middle name. He turned one today. I've had him for 10 months, and I'm very happy to say that him and I made it through so far. I'm proud of him and myself, because if you own a pet, you know they are a lot of work. So that's my baby. All right, now that we got that important business out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about these fights that just happened earlier today and yesterday as well. Real quick, I just wanted to touch on the Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 19 that happened yesterday. Just on the main event, I did not do a pick on this, but we did see the debut of Rachel Ostovich. She won her debut fight against VanZant, both former UFC fighters. Paige also former Bellator fighter. Let me know if Rachel is too. I think she might be as well. And I know Paige's husband's about to get himself a title shot over there on Bellator as well. Either way, it still blows my mind to see bare knuckle fighting in this light on this big of a platform. They got bare knuckle fighting TV with names on the cards, names I fully recognize. Like, this is just, it's just wild to see. But this is two different sports. They fought, of course, in UFC 3 years ago, and Paige won that fight. But again, this is a different sport. This is boxing. And Rachel won this fight. I completely agree. The first fight probably went to Paige. She just kind of opened up first and landed more punches first. They both, the second round was a lot more even, and 3 through 5 was all Rachel. Paige landed some shots, some jabs. She would grab her every time she would get hit, but Rachel landed the more powerful shots more often, nice shots to the body. It was 5 2-minute rounds. It was a competitive fight. It was interesting to watch. And again, yes, I want to cover more content, and that includes bare knuckle fighting, y'all. So that was that. Again, didn't make a pick on that. Now let's get into the fights I made picks on. Happened earlier today. UFC Fight Night Vegas 32. I'm getting so excited. If you did not see this event, please do yourself a favor and check out. The event was awesome. The fights were awesome. I haven't seen the prelims yet, but the main card was great, and I got 4 out of 5. So great night for me. First up, the only pick I did not get, I chose Randy Costa to beat Adrian Yanez, and he did not. But boy, I thought I had this pick. He started out just jabbing, jabbing. He found his range with the jab. That opened up other shots as well. He jabbed him bloody like almost the entire first round. Come out in the second round, he had clearly slowed down a little bit, was still throwing it out there. He also threw a lot of kicks as well. Kicked him in the face one good time as well in that first round. Took the center of the octagon, pushing the pace and walking forward the entire time. Second round, pretty much the opposite of that. You had Yanez, who started to dig down, who took the center of the octagon, who started to push forward, who started to initiate the exchanges and wasn't getting caught, had a jab of his own, some sneaky little shots, uppercuts, shots in close, and he was landing more powerfully. He actually ended up landing a 2-piece to the body and then an uppercut through the guard that dropped Costa, and then he just tap, while Costa was just tap. Ref stopped the fight. I think I got this lipstick, y'all. Last video, I got lipstick on my shirt. Just out of control. Now, ref stopped the fight. TKO finish for Yanez. Great win for him. I believe he's like on a 7-fight winning streak or something like that, I believe. Who would you like to see Adrian Yanez fight next? Next up, I got this pick. I got all the next picks, by the way. Like I said, 4 out of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and just recap the video from now on. So next up, we saw Macy Barber get a split decision? Yes, split decision over Miranda Maverick, and I do not agree. I believe she lost this fight. I believe Miranda won round 1 and 2. She held the center of the octagon. She was coming forward. She landed the harder shots. She was initiating the exchanges. Macy would try to take her down. She stayed off the takedowns. I believe she even took Macy down at one point as well. In the second round, Macy started to do better. She landed some more shots. She got into her face more and started to be first. But even towards the end of that round, like with like a minute left, Miranda took her down and landed some nice ground and pound. So she won rounds 1 and 2. Macy won round 3. She's the one that came out first, initiated things, got her up against the cage, was able to take it down, ground and pound the whole 9. She won round 3. But again, I disagree with this decision. But I had a feeling, I was like, Miranda, she's nice and strong. She's got those muscles. She started to slow down. You can tell she gassed. She needs to add. Just add. She's nice and strong. She's got the fundamentals down, but she needs to add. She needs to add more diversity to her striking. She needs to add some angles. She doesn't really flow. Like, she just needs to get looser, quicker. She just needs to add. Just needs to add. She's a good fighter. She just needs to add. But she should have won this fight. Macy Barber, I really liked what she said afterwards. It was near perfect. First, she called out Jessica Eye, someone who's right in range, number 8, and she's a fight that she could possibly get Jessica Eye's type of fighter to respond. I love how she utilized that. Then she said, I wanted to land something flashy, some elbows. I wanted to win over the crowd and win over the judges. And I was like, ding, 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 ding. It sucks and it's not fair. But I often say that you have to consider judging tendencies in your game plan. Of course, you don't want to leave it in their hands in the first place, but just in case it does go to a decision, you have to factor in judging tendencies and landing something big and flashy, especially because when you're judging, when you watch fights over and over again, which the judges don't have a chance to do, you often see things you missed or things that you thought were something that weren't. They don't have the time for that. Often that last impression really makes a difference. So I love that she thought of that, and that was how she was fighting. I hate that she said it because don't give away your secrets. And then, of course, after that, she has a charity that she works for to help kids who are being trafficked. They have an event coming up. Please visit her page for that information. You can donate all of that. So I just thought she really made good use of that speech afterwards. I was like, way to go, girl. And who would you like to see her fight next? Now, next up, I chose Darren Elkins to be, I said I wasn't going to do that, so I'm just going to recap because I got all the picks. Darren Elkins beat Derek Minner in the second round. And if you think grappling is boring, watch this fight. If you know someone who thinks grappling is boring, tell them to watch this fight. I mean, the first round, just the reverses and the reverses, and Derek was all over Darren, trying to submit him. He had leg locks put in there. He went for the arm. He went for the triangle. He went for a lot of things. Kind of gassed himself out doing that. Went for chokes. Darren was steadily pushing through, ripping arms out, reversing situations, catching the leg. I mean, it was just all over the place. It was awesome. It was awesome. And Darren, like he said, he's a veteran. He had a 4-fight losing streak, and then he won the fight before this, and he just has a way of pushing through that willpower that he's able to beat fighters who technically are more skilled than him. So second round, you saw that Derek started to gas a little bit because all of that trying to submit people, it gasses out your arms, all of that. And Darren started to push through a little bit more easy until he found some ground and pound. He got the top position, and he was just welling on him to the point where I was like, stop it, it's over, stop it. And the ref stopped the fight. Great win for Darren Elkins. Who would you like to see him fight next? Now, reach to the co-main event. Yes, because I didn't want to talk too long about this. Co-main event. Okay, we saw Julian Paiva defeat Kyler Phillips. I'm struggling with these names on this card, boy. This was a majority decision in favor of Paiva, and I have mixed feelings. Let's talk about it. So Kyler came out like Kyler always comes out, with bombs ablazing. He landed several shots, and when he landed them shots, he dropped them. He stanky-legged them. He stumbled them up against the cage. Uppercuts. He landed some kicks. I mean, Kyler was all over him. If Paiva landed some shots, he did. He landed some shots. I think he like 14 shots to what's his name's like I think he doubled the shots on that. And like I said, his shots were devastating. They affected him. They dropped him. They stanky-legged him. I mean, he was coming out from different angles, in and out, in and out. Paiva tried to grab him, but he was able to stay off the takedown, get back into space, and piece him up some more. This was a round that, if I were a judge, I would have scored 10-8. Now, rounds 2 and 3. Paiva in rounds 2, he was first off the chin that he has. He was able to come back out, and he was able to push the pace. He was able to move some forward. He was able to catch Kyler with some shots that stunned him, and he was able to put together a flurry and take him down. He was able to mount some ground and pound. Kyler, of course, would get back up again, and when he got back up, he took his back, and then Paiva got up, and then this fight went back and forth. This fight was amazing. Let me know if it was fight of the night, because I didn't stay and wait for that. Dana White was taking too long to come out. When Kyler got on his back, and then Paiva got up and was able to shake him off, and then Kyler stood back, and he was like, oh, wow, clear shot, huh. And then Paiva came back, took 2 steps, and was like, oh, wow, stumbled him back. I mean, this fight was awesome. It was awesome, and that was the second round. Third round. Second round was closer, but I gave it to Paiva. Third round was not as close, and again in favor of Paiva. He was able to initiate. He now is in the center of the octagon. He was the one moving forward, initiating the exchanges, landing some good shots, landing some flurries, able to take him down. Even though Skylar was able to pop back up each time, but still, the fact that you take him down, it's still a takedown, and that matters. Kyler still had his moments, still was piecing him up. Like I said, it was still going back and forth, but I totally believe that Paiva won the second and third round. So the little bit of controversy comes into, should this been a majority win? Because one judge did have it 28-28. Meaning they did give Kyler that first round by 2, and that's probably what my score would have been. Probably would have been a draw. So let me know what you think about this fight, and if I didn't say about the ladies fight earlier too, if you agreed with Macy winning, or if you thought it should have been a Miranda, why? Also with this one, if you agree that it should have been a majority, a win for Paiva, or should it have been a draw, which is what I would have scored it. This is not like a robbery to me. I'm okay with him getting the win, but again, with them pushing the whole trying to get more 10-8 rounds, that we're still making that transition, so things still aren't clear. There's not a trend happening there yet, so it is still up in the air. So I'm okay with the decision, but I would have scored it a draw. Let me know what you would have scored it and why, and also who would you like to see Julian Paiva fight next. Now, main event, and we made it. Main event, and we saw TJ Dillashaw get the, was this a split decision? Yes, it was. Split decision victory over Corey Sandhagen. All of a sudden, I changed his name to Cody. I even wrote it in the description of the prediction video. I'm sorry, Corey. I don't know why I've done that. So he got the split decision victory over Corey. I'm okay with the decision. I actually did not know how it was going to go. I would have been okay with Corey getting the win as well. Look, so I believe that TJ won round 1, even though Corey's a slick fighter. He's a slick striker. He has a nice jab. He has a nice face. He baits you into bad movement. He's got good footwork. He sometimes makes little mental errors. So he'll be going good, and then make like an ill advised like spinning move, which got you taken down the first time. So why did you do that again? Especially when you're piecing them up on the feet. Also, sometimes he takes a minute to get started in the round. I noticed there was a couple of rounds where it took him like a minute before his offense actually started to get going. So he allowed TJ to get comfortable. So there is some mental things happening there with Corey that I think he needs to shore up. Other than that, I really like him. I think he's a slick striker. I really like slick strikers. He's got great takedown defense. He also had some submissions as well in the first round. Even though I gave it to TJ, TJ was able to take him down ground and pound, but Corey was able to lock on a leg lock, which TJ himself even admitted he stayed in too long. He was able to ground and pound himself out of it, but in him staying in that knee bar for so long, he tweaked that knee, and you saw it at the end of the first round. He even went back to his corner and said, I think there's something wrong with my knee, or my knee hurts, or something like that. He mentioned it to his corner. So I was like, oh Lord, you just got back off of the PED infraction, but still to have an injury. Comes in the second round, he's kind of shaking it and all of that. You can tell he's jumping on it. You could tell TJ was testing it. And I was like, oh no. So it was Corey who was able to get comfortable in the second round. And again, with that slick striking, he's got great angles. He was able to bait him in a bad movie. He's also had like a 5-6 inch reach advantage on TJ. So he was able to utilize that as well. There were some times when TJ was having to leap in. He was reaching. There were some wide shots. He wasn't as tight as he normally is. Dominic in the booth was like, you see, there's no ring rust. Dominic, there is ring rust. But with a strong mind and great discipline while you were off, you can minimize that. TJ was not as sharp, as tight as he normally is. Corey busted him up in this round. He landed a couple of shots. TJ said he already had a cut here, but you saw the shot of which it kind of exploded open. Big old gash right here in a really bad spot, just bleeding into the eye profusely. The doc was even called in, and he was like, please don't stop this fight. He didn't. They kept going, but yeah, round 2, Corey. Round 3 went back to TJ. Corey was landing some shots again. All these rounds were close. TJ landed another takedown. He also had him up against the cage a lot in the dominant position where he was working knees to the thighs. Not the most exciting thing, but it is the dominant position for TJ, and he is scoring by working on the legs. Although he didn't do much damage, but he is scoring points. In the end of the round, he had a nice flurry where he was busting Corey up against the cage in that last little bit of that third round TJ. Fourth round, I thought went to Corey. There was some people who gave TJ that third round, or fourth, I don't think so. I think it went to Corey. Corey just simply landed more shots. He didn't catch himself caught up against that cage as much, and when he was caught up against that cage, TJ, I think, was resting a bit and wasn't even working the legs as much as he did in that third round. And in space, he dropped TJ even. I mean, I had wrote some things down because so much happened in this fight here. Yeah, got that in. So fourth round, Corey, and then I'll look on the back of that, right? Fifth round to me was super close. I have to look at the numbers and the stats. It was just super close. TJ did, like I said, he had a little takedown where he popped back up. TJ also had that position against the cage where he was dominating him. He was there for a minute. Corey sat in that position for way too long. In space, of course, Corey was landing more shots and doing his slick thing, but this pace did slow down, quite honestly, for the both of them. And to note, TJ was walking Corey down pretty much the entire fight. Walking him down, moving forward, walking him down. That looks like something in the judge's eyes. It's just something to take into consideration. Also, that's constant pressure with your opponent walking you down. You're constantly fighting off your back foot. That also is taxing. It makes you get tired quicker. So that fifth round could have went anyway. I have to look at the stats. I honestly, off the top of my head, I haven't watched it again yet. I don't know who won that fifth round. And for me, it was 2-2 going into the fifth. So you let me know who you thought won the fight. If you agree with the judge's decision, split decision victory in favor of TJ. If not, why and why not? Corey didn't agree. You could tell afterwards. He didn't complain too much, but he was like, man, he didn't hurt me, da-da-da-da-da. And he said, I just have to do better. So I like the way he took that. Like I said, he didn't complain. TJ coming back after the PED infractions and being off, I think, 2 years, right? So for him to come back with a win, like he said, I want that belt. And we all kind of knew he would. This is more exciting, more excitement, and already super exciting, super stacked division. Great fights all the way up and down. Like I said, please go back and watch this event. This is one of those sleeper events where if you aren't really invested in MMA, you probably didn't know a lot of the names, but boy, was this an awesome card. Awesome card. All right. If I haven't said it already, please go ahead and like the video. Please subscribe. You have to follow me on all platforms just in case I do additional pics, renegs, and all other entertainment. That is Twitter, Instagram. I'm on TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Okay. And subscribe, like, please comment so we can get this conversation going because so much happened. Subscribe, like, talk to me, take care.